Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English with Emily and George. We're so happy you're here with us today.
Hey everyone, we hope you're having a great day because today we're talking about a really important English topic.
Yes, today we're going to learn how to use as and like correctly without making mistakes.
These two little words confuse so many English learners because sometimes they seem similar.
Exactly. You hear native speakers use them all the time in movies, conversations, YouTube videos, and even at work.
But the good news is that today we're going to make everything simple and practical.
By the end of this lesson, you'll understand the difference between as and like, you'll know when to use each one, and you'll sound much more natural in English conversations.
We're also going to practice together with lots of examples and common real-life situations.
And honestly, this is one of those small grammar topics that can make a huge difference in your English.
Definitely, when you use as and like correctly, your English sounds smoother and more confident.
Before we begin, we have a question for you.
Which one is more difficult for you, as or like? Tell us in the comments.
And try writing a sentence too. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Practice is the most important thing.
Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to English with Emily and George, and share this lesson with another English learner.
You know, I actually made mistakes with as and like when I was younger.
Really?
Oh yes, especially in school writing. Teachers love correcting these words.
That should make everyone feel better because mistakes are completely normal.
So relax, enjoy the lesson, and let's finally understand how to use as and like naturally in English.
Exactly. Learning English takes time, repetition, and practice.
All right, let's jump into the lesson and start with the basic difference between these two words. Let's start with the most important rule.
Usually we use like for comparison.
And we use as for role or function.
That sounds a little formal, so let's make it easier.
Yes, here's the simple idea.
Like means similar to.
As means in the role of.
Perfect. Now let's look at examples.
She sings like a professional singer.
Here we are comparing her singing to a professional singer.
Another example. He eats like a king.
Now listen to this sentence. She works as a doctor.
Again, comparison.
Here, as shows her real profession or role.
Exactly. She actually is a doctor.
Let's compare two very similar.
He works like a teacher.
He works as a teacher.
The first sentence means he behaves similarly to a teacher.
Maybe he explains things all the time or gives advice to everyone.
But the second sentence means his real job is teacher.
That's a huge difference.
Here's another everyday example.
My sister talks like a news reporter.
That means she sounds similar to one.
But if I say my sister works as a news reporter, then that's her actual job.
So remember this question.
Are you comparing something?
Or are you talking about a real role or function?
Great question.
Let's practice together now.
Which sentence is correct?
She works like an engineer.
Or she works as an engineer.
The correct answer is she works as an engineer because engineer is her real profession.
Exactly.
But if we say she thinks like an engineer, then we use like because it's comparison.
Perfect. Now let's talk directly to our listeners. What do you do? Can you make a sentence using as? For example, I work as a student assistant. Or I work as a cashier.
And now try one sentence with like.
My brother sleeps like a baby.
My friend sings like a celebrity.
These are very common everyday expressions.
Native speakers use like constantly in casual conversation,
especially when describing similarities.
Now let's look at negative forms because they're important too.
I don't work as a manager anymore.
Sounds like his father.
The rule stays exactly the same.
Here's another useful grammar tip.
After like, we often use nouns or pronouns.
Like him.
Like my friend.
Like a teacher.
And after as, we often describe roles, jobs, or functions.
Let's do another quick practice.
You look your mother.
The answer is like.
Good.
She works a nurse.
As.
Excellent. Try making two sentences now.
One with as.
One with like.
And write them in the comments because we love reading your examples. Don't worry about making mistakes. Practice helps your English improve faster.
Exactly. Confidence comes from repetition.
So here's the quick summary for this section.
Like usually means similar to, and as usually means role or function.
Now let's build on that foundation and look at more ways native speakers use as and like, because in real conversations, English isn't always perfectly textbook.
Very true. Spoken English can be flexible.
Let's start with as for actions happening at the same time. Listen to this sentence. As I was leaving the house, my phone rang.
Here, as means something like while.
Exactly.
Here are more examples. As we were eating dinner, the lights went out. As I opened the window, cold air came inside.
These sound very natural in spoken and written English. Now let's move to common conversational uses of like.
Native speakers say these expressions all the time. Looks like rain. Sounds like a great idea. Feels like summer today.
These are super useful expressions for daily English. Let's do a small conversation example. Wow, your dinner smells amazing. Thanks. It tastes like garlic and butter. Very natural.
Another important thing is formal versus informal English. In formal English, some people prefer as if. For example, he talks as if he knows everything. But in casual spoken English, people often say he talks like he knows everything.
And honestly, you'll hear both from native speakers.
Exactly. So if you're speaking casually with friends, like sounds completely normal. But in formal writing or academic English, as if may sound more professional.
That's a very useful distinction for learners.
Let's practice again. Which sentence sounds natural? She sings like an angel, or she sings as an angel.
Like an angel is correct because it's comparison.
Perfect.
Now another one. He works as a chef, or he works like a chef.
As a chef is correct because that's his actual job. Great work. Here are 3 simple tips to remember. First, use like for comparisons. Second, use as for professions and roles. Third, remember that spoken English is more relaxed than formal writing.
Excellent advice.
Here's another challenge for our listeners. Write one sentence using looks like in the comments.
Yes, maybe something about the weather, food, or your weekend plans.
And don't just write it, say it out loud too.
Speaking practice is extremely important for fluency.
Even if your pronunciation isn't perfect, keep practicing.
Native speakers also make grammar mistakes sometimes.
Absolutely. So let's review this section quickly. As can connect actions or show role and purpose. Like is commonly used for comparison and casual spoken expressions. Now let's talk about another very common use of like and as in daily conversation. This part will help your English sound much more natural, especially in conversations with friends, coworkers, or classmates. Let's start with the expression, what's it like? Native speakers constantly use this. For example, what's your new job like? What's your city like? What was the movie like? Here, like means describe it. Exactly. Here's an example answer. What's your college like? It's busy, exciting, and sometimes stressful. Very natural conversation. Now let's move to as for perspective and identity. Example, as your friend, I think you should rest. That means in my role as your friend. Right. Here's another one. As a parent, my mother worries a lot. Let's do another mini practice. She dances, dash, a professional. Like. Correct. He works, dash, a pilot. As. Great. Here are some tips for sounding more natural. First, memorize useful chunks like sounds like, looks like, and as usual. Second, ask yourself if the sentence is comparison or role. Third, listen carefully to native speakers in movies, podcasts, and YouTube videos.
Excellent advice.
Here's another challenge for you. Write one sentence beginning with as a and another sentence using like.
We really enjoy reading your examples because everyone learns together as a community.
And remember, communication matters more than perfection.
Absolutely.
Native speakers don't always follow perfect grammar either.
That's true.
The goal is clear and natural communication.
So here's the review for this section. Like is often used for descriptions and similarities, while as is used for identity, role, and perspective.
All right, now let's talk about common mistakes because almost every English learner makes them.
Even native speakers sometimes mix these up in casual speech.
Very true. Mistake number 1, incorrect. She works like a nurse.
Correct, she works as a nurse.
Why? Because nurse is her actual profession.
Exactly.
But if we say she talks like a nurse, then it becomes comparison.
Great distinction.
Mistake number 2, incorrect. He looks as his brother.
Correct, he looks like his brother.
Appearance comparisons almost always use like. Here's another common one. Incorrect. I feel as a superhero. Correct. I feel like a superhero. Because we are comparing ourselves to something.
Exactly.
Here's a useful memory trick. Similarity equals like. Role equals as.
Nice and simple.
Another mistake happens in formal writing. Casual English often says, like I said before. But in formal writing, many teachers prefer as I said before.
So context matters.
Let's practice together.
Choose the correct sentence before we explain the answer.
Ready? Let's go.
Situation 1. Option A, she works like a lawyer. Option B, She works as a lawyer.
The better answer is option B, because lawyer is her profession.
Great! Situation 2. Option A. You sound like your father. Option B. You sound as your father.
Option A is correct because it's comparison.
Excellent. Situation 3. Option A. As your manager, I need to talk to you. Option B. Like your manager, I need to talk to you.
Option A sounds natural because it describes role.
Perfect. Situation 4. Option A. This tastes like chocolate. Option B. This tastes as chocolate.
Option A again.
Nice job.
Let's talk about tone for a moment. Like usually sounds more casual and conversational. As can sound slightly more professional depending on context.
That's why business emails often say things like, as discussed earlier.
While casual conversation sounds more like, looks like we're late.
Very natural examples.
Now repeat after us out loud. She works as a designer.
He sings like a rock star.
Excellent.
Now create your own examples and write them in the comments.
Remember, real communication is more important than perfect grammar every second.
Wow, we covered a lot today. You now understand one of the most confusing little grammar topics in English.
Today we learned 3 main ideas. First, like is mainly used for comparison. Second, as is used for role, identity, and function. Third, spoken English is often more flexible than formal writing. And remember, always ask yourself this question. Am I comparing something, or am I talking about a role? That simple question can help you choose the correct word naturally. We also practiced common mistakes, daily conversations, and real-life examples. And hopefully now you feel much more confident using as and like in English. Remember, fluency happens little by little. Every conversation helps you improve. So here's one final question for you. Which example from today's lesson was easiest to remember? Tell us in the comments. And if you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like this video, share it with another English learner, and subscribe to English with Emily and George for more practical English lessons every week. Thank you so much for learning with us today. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself. Take care, everyone, and see you next time.